Hey, everybody, it's time for Trash Talk times 3. Because not only is Brandon in the loop here, but we got Travis Patton Sr. Tell me something good, my friend.
What's up, everybody? How y'all doing? Glad to be on the show with Brandon and Stuart. I call them my brothers from another mother, man. These guys are absolutely wonderful.
Well, we are thrilled to have you here because Brandon and I said, let's do a show, maybe talk about retirement and all.
Oh, wow.
So I'm at one end of the spectrum because I've been retired for 10 years. Brandon has probably no vision at all of what retirement might be.
That's probably true.
And so we said maybe we should stick somebody in the middle there, somebody
that would be me.
That's getting closer. So hey, so welcome to Travis Patton. We're glad to have you. And Brandon, I was thinking retirement for you is probably a long-range telescope shot.
Oh man, it is.
I don't even know. First off, it's awesome to have Travis back. I've been excited about him coming back on. It's like one of those things where it's like, our schedules are so crazy. We're all busy with work and life and then our own shows. And right. So being able to circle back around and bring him back, and it's been a minute, so that's what makes it even more cool.
Yes.
I love it. So this is a perfect show to have you on because, like Stuart said, you got me, and who knows what's happening.
Then
you got you, and Stuart's been retired for what seems to be centuries now. So.
Retirement to Brandon is a day off from work.
I
know, right? He's like he puts in for his retirement every day, every week, every 2 weeks. I'm putting in my retirement too, PTO.
Right.
I felt it. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm off today, and my son and I are gonna go hang out. And last night we stayed up kind of late. But man, I gotta be honest with you. I was struggling last night. It was like 9 o'clock, and my body was like hurting, sore and tired.
But Luke was still going.
I still going. I'm like, ended up being close to 11, but God, yeah. So retirement, the only thing I could say about retirement is for the first time in my what seems to be long career of working. I don't want to say first time, I'll say second time. I've actually have a plan with the job, the 401ks and all that, because all my life I've been in the bars, and that's never had anything. When you're a bartender, there's no plan. You make money and you try to discipline yourself to retire, right?
Right.
When you're running a nightclub, you get better money and you get maybe some bonuses and benefits, maybe, but you don't get a 401k or anything like that. So when you spend 80% of your working life in that industry, it's hard. It's hard to sit there and go, I'm going to put $100 a week. I'm going to put $300 a week, whatever that may be, because when you just have that constant money in front of you. And at the time I didn't have any, kids or anything like that. So what do I care? Right.
Yeah. It's going to spend. Yeah. Absolutely.
It's going to spend, and then obviously over the last, even prior to Luke, over the last however many years, it's like, wait a minute, guys. So I'm playing catch up with you all. I'm playing catch up.
I'm not running very fast, so you don't really have to. You can catch me, man. I'm at a slow pace.
And I'll tell you what. Once you get to retirement, then it's a wall you gotta either try and run around or break through or climb over.
Absolutely.
Because, that you look back and you say, well, Monday through Friday, I've had some place to go. I've had some place to be. I've had a clock to clock in and clock out. Now what am I going to do? And in my case, when I retired, I moved. Relocated because my son and my only grandson relocated. So it was kind of a natural, close the businesses, get out of it, retire, and move at the same time. It kind of fell into place. But then when you relocate or you do retire and you say, now what am I going to do?
Now what?
Yeah. Whatever you have saved, if you don't plan, you can go through it real quick.
Really quickly.
That's what I was thinking.
I think a lot of people, though, guys, we get stuck in that now what moment, and I think some people, and I think what it does, it keeps a lot of people doing what you said, Stuart, working longer because they don't want to face that now what moment. I think of it kind of like this. How it is when you're watching a movie, you're at home, you're streaming a movie, or you're streaming your favorite episode of your favorite, thing you're about to binge, and you're watching it. It's good. It's great. And then this one scene is so profound. This one scene is so provocative that you find yourself keep rewinding that same scene. You keep, I can't believe they said that. I can't believe they did that. And you keep rewinding it because you can't see yourself going to the next scene. I think a lot of people, we're rewinding that scene in our life because maybe what it was we did, maybe we enjoyed that part of our lives, maybe enjoyed the career we had, and we don't know how to let it go because we don't want to face that next scene. Because we're like, well, the next scene can't be better than this scene because this part of my life was so good. And we can't let it go. And we're still in the same scene. And you got 2 hours of movie still left. You got so much life still ahead of us. And we're still stuck on that same scene.
Yeah, I agree. I think a lot of people, I think one of the biggest things for retirement, we talk about it from a financial aspect, but one of the biggest things is a mental capacity, is going, you better have a mental plan. I mean, obviously financial, but you better have a mental plan of something to keep you busy, something to create a hobby. I mean, don't get me wrong. You can sit around for a couple days and lounge and drink your coffee on the porch or move, and that's great. But sooner or later, your mind, your body is going to say no more, So you got to find something to do.
You'll get tired of doing nothing.
Yes.
And I can contest to that, because when we first moved here to Texas, I thought, okay, I always wanted to read more, read the classics, read books that I never had the time for because I was always working. Got a couple of the old classics and I started reading, and I go through three chapters at a time and then I'm tired. So get something to eat, and then you go back and read a little bit more, and man, this is really kind of boring. And then let's go out for dinner. Okay, fine. Then you go back and read a little. It gets old real quick.
Sure.
And one bit of advice somebody gave to me, and I would give to anybody that's getting closer to retirement or retiring: take out a pad of paper and just write down a list of all of the things that, if money was no object, what would be the things that you would like to do, like travel, like go out and buy a boat, go on a cruise around the world. Write all the stuff down, then look at it again and prioritize that list in order of what can I afford to do right now? And what is the long range dream? And then start with that short list, and you enjoy going to concerts, fine, then go online, find concerts that you want to go to, and make it a plan to go once a month to a nice concert, once a week to go to the movie theater and catch a new release. You want to eat, fine, find some nice restaurants, but anything that you do, if you do it repetitively, it gets old.
That's right.
Quickly when you have the time to do it whenever you want to do it. Because in the case of you guys, when you're working, what I can do any day of the week, you guys have to focus on maybe just doing on that 1 or 2 days that you got off.
Exactly.
And then subtract the doing the laundry, cleaning the house, and going to the grocery store from that. And now you're down to maybe 1 day.
Well, and you just said it. You literally nailed it. So I don't know what today is, but a couple days ago.
It's Tuesday morning.
Yeah, sure. Whatever.
Tuesday, Brandon.
A couple days ago, I worked and I was gonna leave around 8:30, 9 o'clock, but I had come in at like 8. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna leave about 7. I'm good, you know. And I dipped out at 7. I went and did my laundry, and it was probably a week and a half's worth, which may not seem like a lot for 2 people, but it is, you know. And so I went to do laundry, got that done. Then I had to swing back and do my grocery pickup because I'm not shopping. I'm just going to do my pickup. So I did my pickup, came home, put the laundry away, put the groceries away, took a shower, tidied up the house. And I'm like, oh, cool. It's 10:15. I'll stay up and watch a 30-minute show and I'm out because I had to work 3 more consecutive days after that. So I'm like, you got to squeeze all that in. And like you said, Stuart, when you retire, you've got to almost still have a plan. And some of those days can be no plan, but the majority of it's got to be a plan. But I often wonder too, like when people retire, like my dad retired a few years ago, he was planning for his retirement years. Okay.
Yeah.
Correct.
But he was also configuring the cost of living at
down
this
the road.
level.
Right.
What about now? I mean, you got people that are making good money that are still trying to live every day. How are they supposed to plan for their retirement?
That's like, I think about that, man. Guys, like a lot of athletes, right? They stay in the game, they continue to play longer, way past their prime, and you can see their abilities begin to decline. And when they stay in the game, I always ask, why are they in this game longer than they could? You clearly see their abilities declining. And I think about it, they have no plan for retirement.
No.
Either you love the game this much, which some do, but some don't have a plan for retirement. And it's clear because you see them and they have nothing. They fall off the face of the earth. They're not doing anything. The money they had while they were playing these sports is gone. The $1 million contracts are no longer there. The endorsements are no longer there. Now you're a regular Joe, like everybody else. You go to the coffee shop, no one hardly recognizes you. It might be one super fan who comes and go, hey, aren't you blah, blah, blah. And you're a regular Joe now because there was no planning. Stuart was talking about the financial planning. You were talking about the mental planning. They don't plan for that retirement. And I'm with you guys. We have planning for retirement. It has a lot more to do, not just financially, but mentally. Can I handle this? Let me prepare myself mentally for my family for this, myself. Can I sit here until I find, like you said, until I find that habit, that hobby, that thing that keeps me involved, that reason why to keep getting up, what I hear is a reason why. Stuart, when you retire, you got to find a reason why, because you don't have to clock in anymore, man. So you got to find your reason why. And until we find that reason why, can I be satisfied with who I am now? Can I be satisfied with where I'm in this part of my life? And I can be satisfied with turning that page and finding that other reason why. Because guys, let's face it, we've all worked. We all do work. And that was our reason why for the longest. Get up, go to work, make that money, come home, take care of your household. And when that part is gone, what are you going to do?
But you brought up the point about the professional athletes. I mean, these are the guys that are making the multi-million of dollars a year. Number one is they need a strong financial planner on their side because when you're a professional athlete, I mean, one game could be the end of your career.
In the career.
And if you've got a financial planner or somebody that has already long range thought about that, that's fine. But that ain't the 3 of us. We're just average guys that are
average
working,
people,
trying to put a little bit of money away. We're doing our own financial planning. We're trying to say what we want to do. There are people that work at a job for 20, 30 years.
Yeah.
Their long range plan is, I'm staying in the house I'm in because it's paid for, and I'm going to buy that boat and that cabin down at the lake and all, and that's how I'm going to retire. great. If that's your plan, work hard for it and go for it. But so many more of us that once you are finished working, you're not sure if you're going to stay where you're at or if you're going to relocate. And if you relocate, whatever financial plan you had, you can throw that out the window.
Out the window. It's gone.
Restart, get reestablished, and get going and all. It's going to start to eat away at that plan that you had.
Absolutely.
That's where the side hustle comes in.
Exactly.
I think now more than ever. Even
right.
for somebody that's retired, you bring in, let's just for fun, let's just say a couple $100 extra a month on some side hustle. I don't care if that's you're painting and somebody's buying it, or you're coming up with birdhouses, or you're still doing the podcast or whatever. If you can have a couple extra $100 a month and you've got your retirement established,
right?
That couple hundred might as well be a couple thousand, because
thousands, man,
you can take that and go, I'm going to save it. I'm going to use this for, extra savings away from my retirement. Like even now, especially now, the side hustle for me is important. Don't get me wrong. My job and where I'm at is here, but the side hustle where that money just comes in is like, I don't care if it's $20 or $300. You know what I mean? It's important.
That man, listen to some to me, $20 is like $200. I kid you not. I get if I make a video for sometimes I'll make a video or a commercial for someone, and some business will say, "Hey Travis, man, can you make a commercial for me?" Like, yeah, how much? I'll give them the amount I'm charging. Yeah, that's $500. Man, my wife was like, "How much did you charge?" And I tell them, she's like, "Yeah, man," because it starts adding up.
Yes, it does.
It's just those simple things like that. I know, and I think a lot of times when we talk about, well, let's get back to this part, because we are different age ranges here. I wish when I was coming up, Stuart, I had someone older like you to teach me about retirement, so I wouldn't have to try to learn it on the fly and try to learn it as I'm going. And so one reason I do look up to you, Stuart, because of your experience. So, and same thing with Brandon. I know Brandon looks up to you for the same reason. And a lot of times we don't hear about retirement, Stuart, until it's almost time for us to retire. And then we're like, what do I do?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, there are far, far too many people that look at retirement, let's say they always talk about 65 as being the retirement age. I think that's fluctuating now. And so. Because unless you're with a company where you have a forced plan that says at 65 you retire. Well, there's far too many people that start to think about retirement at 65, maybe when they're 55 or 60. And that's not, like you said, and Brandon, you are spot on. The side hustle is the new game plan for today's generation. And get that bank account so that all the money from your side hustles goes directly into that bank account. It doesn't come to you in the form of a check that you can go down to the bank and cash and blow it on Friday night or Saturday night.
Well, Stuart, first of all, nobody's getting checks anymore. Okay. No, nobody's writing getting checks. Okay.
My generation.
No one gets a paper check, Stuart.
Nobody gets a paper check. I don't even know what a paper check. I don't even see a paper statement. I don't even know what that is. I haven't seen that in years.
I know. I had a conversation this past weekend with my son about Zelle and Venmo, and I gotta tell you guys, I still don't understand.
I know. I'm sitting here trying to.
I'm glad you caught it. I'm glad you caught it, Brandon. I was going to say something paper check.
Yeah,
I know. Well, the other day he's talking about collect calls, and I'm like, Stuart, bro, if it ain't in prison, ain't nobody getting a collect call. Like,
no one does that anymore. It's okay to call a different country now. It's actually free.
Yeah, you can do it.
Yeah, and you can do it with the same phone that you call across the street.
I literally just talked to Paul over in Ireland, and you and I know Paul. I literally just talked to him like every couple of days on my phone.
And I'm still wondering, how do they do that?
I'm sitting here trying to help Stuart. He had some things he needed moved. I'm trying to help him sell these things. And I'm like, man, you got Venmo? He's like, what?
Yeah.
What? I was like, do you want Zelle? And I'm like, forget it. I'll work it out for you, Stuart. I got you.
Help them out, Brandon. Help them, please.
See, that's the other
You're
thing.
missing out on millions right now because somebody tried to Venmo you some money.
I know. I
And
get paid. Like a lot of these side hustles, I'm getting paid through Venmo. You know,
I
like
get paid. I get paid to Cash App.
right, Cash App, Venmo.
That's Cash
I got a
App.
Zelle the other day from you know, this upcoming project I'm doing. I can't say anything about it, but I got a Zelle the other day. I was like, boom, there's my money right there. You know, so it makes it easy too, because even with my paycheck from work, I take, I mean, besides the obvious insurance and 401k, that I take a percentage of my paycheck, albeit kind of small, and I send it directly into a separate account for savings that I
Correct.
never touch. So
Right.
they'll split it up. I don't even have to deal with it because I know if I don't, if it comes all in this one thing, it's all going to
gone.
be bills. It's all going to be, Luke and I are going to go get 5 snow cones that day. You know, it's all going to be, you know, so I'm like, I got to split it. I got to save my money to pay those bills. I got to save my money to savings because I still got a 5-year-old that, you know, he got a lot of money that I got to give him. So
He's 5 years old.
yeah, he's 5.
But,
So there you go.
And every time you see a post from Brandon with Luke, that kid is either eating, drinking, or shopping.
That's true.
And that's the stuff that doesn't come out of that retirement account. That's
No.
Retirement.
that's coming out of this week's paycheck.
That's right. That's me looking at it, go, groceries paid, bills paid. Cool. I think I'm going to go buy myself a shirt. Never mind.
Right.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep. He wants a snow cone today.
Yeah, you're gonna-
right.
yeah,
I got to
you-
get him new shoes. I got to get him, you know, so.
But that's what we're talking about. You know, when talking about retirement, planning for retirement doesn't start when you retire.
No.
It starts with everyday decisions, right? I want to go get me a new shirt, but no, my son needs some shoes. I want to go ahead and do this trip, but no, I got to do this. Planning for retirement, it's still, you know this, man. You can testify to this. You know around the age you might want to have retired, and people have jobs, they have forced retirement, like a certain age, you must retire from the company. But retirement starts I tell people this, I tell my son this, I said, man, retirement starts the day that you realize you want to start working. Whether it's your own company, whether you're working for a company, that's when your retirement starts. You don't start when you've been with a company for 20, 30 years. What if they release you and let you go? You don't get a chance to retire then. Now you got to reinvent yourself.
That can happen. Yep.
Yeah. So
COVID did that with people.
Today,
Absolutely.
today, you know, when you are hired by a company, you can opt to have a little extra withheld from your weekly check and everything, and then you get that at the end of the year, you know, before you file for your tax returns and everything. Back in my day, you got your paycheck on Friday if you got paid every week, and you had to budget on your own. You went down to the bank to deposit your check, and part of it you maybe put into savings, but most of it you just cashed, and then you went out and bought the goods and services that you needed, put gas in the car, go to the grocery store, and
right.
Today there's more avenues available for you if you do it. That's the key to it, is you got to do it. And that is to say to yourself, I'm not good at managing a bucket of cash on my own, so I need to have a plan.
Absolutely.
where that money's going to go.
Absolutely.
And whatever is left, and that goes into your pocket at the end of the week, you got an extra 20, go out and buy snow cones and donuts and share them with your kids.
That's the thing. You've got to plan it, you know, and don't get me wrong. I have those days where I mean, that's just my weakness, maybe, and probably a lot of other people's too. But I have those weeks where I'm like, you know what? I don't even care. Like, I worked hard for this. I'm not saying I deserve it. I deserve to pay, you know, I have an obligation to pay my bills. But I'm going to go spend like $20, $30 on something, whether that's going out to eat, whether that's going to a movie. I'm going to do it because my mental capacity I need that, because otherwise it's work, this, that, home, work, this. So I'll do that, you know, and it stinks because then you're kind of like, but if you're working just to sit there and constantly pay bills and save and
you're not living, man.
You're not living.
That's right.
And eventually that's going to create a bigger problem. So
Sure.
I have my, I'm blessed enough to be able to, for me, my entertainment can be very little. I don't need extravagant things. Like, I'm super happy with having a day to just go check out a new town with or without Luke. I'm super happy to go to the movies at 8 o'clock at night by myself to go see a movie that he can't see, and maybe just buy a Coke and some popcorn or whatever I get there. That I'm good. I'm happy for weeks after that. I'm okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And I'll give you a good point that you both probably have been in, is you get to that point where you say, I got a little extra, so I think I'm going to go out, have a nice dinner. The next day in the mail, you get your electric bill.
Always.
And you say, wait a minute, my electric bill's been running $100 a month. This one's $185. Now what am I going to do?
That's it. Well, especially now, Stuart, we're in hundreds already in Texas. We're going to be 104 next week.
That's right. But
it's only 90 something here.
Yeah. How many people think about that in advance?
Nobody.
That now we are going through the next few months when you can't predict what your gas bill is going to be. You can't predict what the electric bill. Sometimes you just get blindsided. So if you've pre-planned for those kinds of things, you're much better off, because that way, when you do see that extra 20, you can safely say, okay, I'm not going to have peanut butter and jelly tonight. I'm going out for a pizza.
Exactly.
Well, and that's just it too. That's budget. I've looked at it with Luke. I've looked at it at our grocery list and gone, okay, XYZ. I know what I can get away with on a couple of days, like even on a healthy kick, but I know how he is. So let's get a bunch of this. But I've also looked at it and been like, you know what? I'm going to take some of that grocery money and we're going to go out. So one of our meals is going to be going out one of the days. That just means I'm going to have to buy a little less groceries.
Correct.
But it creates an event, and so there's ways to do it. I mean, and then some weeks you ain't going out.
Like you said, it creates an experience. Let's say you say Thursday, we're gonna go out. So that's one less meal I have to budget for. One less thing I have to go buy at the grocery store. So now instead of that grocery store money, we're going to have an experience. And so
yes,
and so you're investing in an experience with your son, or even with yourself. Maybe this is something you take yourself out with, but it's all part of the same thing. All part. But we're talking about retirement. We have to retirement from what? Retirement from one phase of our life, and we're entering to retirement. Doesn't mean life ends.
No,
you're just turning the page in a book. You just move into the next.
It's a different chapter. It's retirement from the working world.
Exactly.
That really I don't care how much you like your job. I mean, you kind of want to get out of it.
Yes. Well, absolutely. I like my job. I like what I do is technical support. I like being able to help work with the systems and the computers. I love that.
Sure.
Oh my God, when I'm sitting there and I work from home, even working from home, I'm like, oh my God, I don't want to clock in today.
Right. I get it.
Yeah, you're absolutely. But the thing is, Travis, what you just said, you really like what you do when you're clocked in 5 days a week. So maybe there's an opportunity after you're not doing that on a regular basis to turn that into one of those side hustles that Brandon was talking about.
Absolutely. Sir, I've already been planning and working on that.
You get yourself an LLC, and now what you do is you work with people one-on-one with the IT, the stuff that that you're passionate about and all. Brandon and I both have a passion for writing and all. And so Brandon I know Brandon, that book's going to come out one of these days.
It's just sitting here looking at me. It's done, right?
Yeah. It needs to get published.
I feel like John, what's his name? Is that the guy who did Avatar, John Cameron?
Yeah.
I think it's him, right? Is that his name? I don't know. Whoever, the Titanic guy.
Yeah.
I feel like him, except not as rich or successful, but like he waited like 10 years to release Avatar 2, right?
Hey.
13 years. I feel like that's me because I just look at it and I go, I'm not there yet. J.K.
Rowling finished her first book in the back of a van that she was living in.
There you go.
And she finished her first manuscript and she pounded the pavement and she finally found a publisher, and we all know what she did.
What happened next?
In
I'm not.
her correct.
I'm good with it. I'm not even trying to get to that. I don't ask. It's a mental thing. That's all.
But if you have a passion for doing that, and as I say, turn that into a bit of a side hustle. You like to write, just keep on writing, keep putting it into a folder and save it and go back and review it from time to time. Maybe you always wanted to do gardening, but you just didn't have the time to do it. So now you go out in the backyard and everything, you take a little plot of the backyard and you put in some soil and you start raising your own vegetables. The ideas are limitless.
Luke, I'm almost done, buddy.
As to what you can do. So, it's a matter of just going out and doing it, finding what you want to do.
True.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And then sometimes somebody pops into the room and tells you exactly what you're going to do pretty soon. Right, Brandon?
I don't know who said, not in my life. I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm going to say this. I am waiting. Speaking of, I'm just going to say this as a side note caveat. I'm actually waiting for Brandon to do a show with Luke.
One day it'll happen. Years ago, he was only like 2.5. And it was during COVID and we were just trying to entertain ourselves. And we did our little movie reviews.
Right. I remember
together.
that.
Yes. And for a while there, it was cool until he got fed up with it and kept on saying poop all the time.
Every movie review was the thumbs down.
I was like, I couldn't get in. And then one day he got real mad. And so I stopped.
Yeah.
Now he knows about it. He sat in the room with me when I've recorded some TikToks, not on TikTok because I ain't putting them on TikTok, but just things like that. And so I'm hoping one day we can get back to either the movie reviews or something, whether it's when he's like 10 or 8 or maybe 18,
Oh, wow, that's gonna be good.
Yeah.
Now that if Luke, an 18-year-old Luke,
right?
Imagine that, an 18-year-old Luke doing a show with Brandon.
I want it to happen. I think it'll be hilarious,
You'll probably have to talk to his agent because 18-year-old Luke
I know, right?
It's probably going to have a career that's already gone through the ceiling.
I hope so.
It's going to be like the old song "Cats in the Cradle." Hey, listen, Dad, I'd like to talk to you, but I haven't got the time.
Hey, I hope so. I hope not too much like that song, but
And you'll have to Venmo him some money. You can't give him
right.
a check.
Yeah, Dad, it cost this for an hour.
Well, I got to tell you guys, it's been great getting together again. We will definitely do this again. I'd like to stick around and talk to you some more, but Snoop is waiting for me down by the water, and we're gonna pop a couple of Coronas.
Snoop or is it Martha? I don't know which one.
Oh
my God! But Travis, always great having you. Folks, you got to check out Tell Me Something Good. It's great. It can be spiritual, it can be humorous, it can be informative, it's educational, and Travis has a passion for it that it's like going to church on Sunday morning.
That show has grown so much since the very first time I've seen it. And I'm not just saying this. Yep. I sometimes I'll just reach out in the middle of nowhere and be like, "Hey man, I'm finally caught up." So those late night voice messages at 2 a.m. That's me.
Yeah.
I told you guys, thank you so much, Stuart and Brandon. You guys, when I started TMG, you guys were instrumental in showing me some things and showing me the ropes. You guys reached out to me and we've latched on to each other. And I just call it destiny. It was more than just, hey, do it thing. We just latched on. It just was a natural chemistry. Guys, Brandon show The Life of an Average Joe with Brandon Novera. Brandon knows I love listening to that show. My weekends, I spend my weekends catching up on everybody's episodes. Love it. Trash talk, guys. Trash talk. This is one of my favorite shows to listen to and watch. They know this. I'm in the comments on Tuesdays mornings doing like this.
Yep.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I don't have to be at work till 10 o'clock. So Tuesdays at 8 o'clock, I'm like this. Oh man, I can't believe Brandon just said that. Stewart, what are you talking about? Love it. And someone you should meet with Stewart Sachs. And I've gained some wonderful people, some wonderful information from this show. Also, I love watching Opposite Sexes, the show Stewart does with his wife, Lauren. I said this all the time, Stewart, I'm sorry, I take Lauren's side all the way. By default, I'm on her side. I'm sorry. It just is what it is, man. But I love seeing the interaction with you two. I keep trying to get Nicole to come do one episode with me. She's like, well, one day. Like, man, Stewart's wife does a show with him.
and Brandon, you know, in addition to what we do every week on Trash Talk, I mean, your reviews of movies that are coming out, you're doing it on TikTok and on all the other platforms. I mean, there's just great information that you put out there on a regular basis, and just love following your stuff. And that's the beauty of what we're doing, because that is our side hustle. And that is, we are all podcasters together individually and all, but we follow each other. And it's amazing how much stuff you can learn by just following other people's leads.
Yep. Absolutely, man. It's cool how we learn. I mean, not just information and like entertaining stuff, just how to maybe incorporate some of the things that have worked for Travis, for, you know, or just learn and feedback. Like, I love feedback when somebody's like, man, you know, I love your show, but this didn't really,
that is so me.
I'll take it. Like, you know,
so me.
Like, why not? Like, I'm down. Like, if somebody tells me, man, your show the last couple of weeks have been kind of then man, I need to go back and figure out what the heck happened, you know? Because we have those moments. There's sometimes I record a show, and I'm sure this happens with you guys, and then at the end I'm like, I don't know, man. Like, I wasn't feeling it, or I was tired. And then I put it out. Inevitably, there's been a couple times where I'm like, I am not putting this show out, and I just delete it completely. But then I put it out, and I can hear it, and I'm like, this is good, but it's not great. It's not what it should be. So learning from friends and colleagues and all that. And speaking of movie reviews, I got a movie review coming up.
Of what?
I was lucky enough to see the premiere. It doesn't come out till next week, of Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny.
So no spoilers when you do review it.
You know that I typically, my first reaction is zero spoilers. I never spoil. I usually wait a couple weeks.
One. I'm on the fence with it, B. I'm on the fence with it.
But aren't you? No, it's my other buddy who's going to it. Yeah. Well, I was on the fence too, and I'm not going to say anything because I haven't done the review yet. But when I was presented the opportunity, I'm like, yeah, I'm going for sure. And I went and saw it.
Let us know.
I will. I'm going to drop it. I'm going to probably drop it on Monday everywhere. So
yeah, we'll see. You got to let us know, because
I will. That's the next big summer one. That's the next quote unquote big summer blockbuster. But so far, the leaders of this summer, I mean, even though one of them technically didn't come out in summer, we'll still call it that. Mario Brothers, Guardians of the Galaxy 3, and Across the Spider-Verse have dominated the box office.
I go all day about Guardians of the Galaxy. That was
me too. That one surprised me, because it's not necessarily a genre movie that I would go to see and all, and I was blown away with that.
Those are the three movies. I mean, you got one that hit $1 billion. Mario just dominated. It beat out, Frozen, and it's like the number one animated movie. It was great. I loved it. Number two, Guardians. That's the highest one in the franchise, and one of the biggest Marvel movies they've had since I forgot what. And then Across the Spider-Verse tripled how much it cost to make. So,
jeez.
And took back the number one spot this past weekend.
All right, so I gotta go to the movies. I gotta go to the movies.
Everything you need to know about movies, about life, about interaction with each other, about side hustles, and that, you can get it from any one of the three of us. Just just reach out. We're here. Life of an Average Joe podcast with Brandon. Someone you should know with Stuart Sachs.
Yes.
Tell me something good with Brandon, with Travis, Travis Patton. You know, we're here for you, and we hope that you'll come back and see us again next week at 8 a.m. And keep your eyes open because Travis is going to be back soon too.
For sure.
Oh yeah, you guys coming on the show. You know that already.
All right.
Let me know. I'm down.
We'll be there. So go out and make it a good one, folks.